Well, now that you're settling in after lunch, I would like you to visualize that you're actually settling into a nice and comfortable chair at the local theater. You're going to play hooky for the afternoon, okay? You're going to watch your favorite movie. Or maybe you're actually settling in at your own house in front of your widescreen TV, comfortable chair. Your favorite movie. The one that you like to watch over and over again. Now, it might very well be something like Star Wars, or it might be My Left Foot, or it might be The English Patient, maybe even Pinocchio. Doesn't really matter. It's your favorite movie, and you're going to sit back and relax and watch it. Now, let's think for a moment, why does that movie get you? It gets you because there are characters that come alive. There's a story that has meaning to you. There's emotion. Movies don't get us if they don't get our emotions, like most things in our lives. It also has a 3-act structure. Beginning. That's where the conflict starts. A middle. That's where the characters go back and forth and try and sort it out. And an end. Where the conflict is solved. And I'm going to give you a different kind of 3-act structure this afternoon. And that kind of structure is Act 1, planning. Act 2, the communication component. And Act 3, that nastiest of all, follow-up. Most of us have a little trouble with that one. Some have a real big problem with that one. So as you're thinking about the movie, think about the beginning act, the middle act, and the end act. Now, think about that meeting that maybe you were in earlier this week or last month, or that particular business situation you had to be in that was anything but your favorite movie. So the NASA scientists got together and they said, how do we do this? Well, we know we're going to put a man on the moon. We know we've got a whole lot of technology. How do we want to plan it? That sounds like a project. Most projects we start, we're here, and then we're going to do this, 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 and then we're going to do this. But no, the NASA scientists got over here and they said, what's success look like? Success looks like astronaut safely back on Earth. That's where we're starting our planning. So what they did is they said, okay, what's safely back on Earth mean? In our case, it means astronauts out of the capsule on the aircraft carrier. Because in those days, they used to plunk them in the ocean and then pick them up and put them on the aircraft carrier. So they said, all right, aircraft carrier out of the hatch. The thing that had to happen just before that was setting them down gently on the aircraft carrier. Okay, what do we have to have in place to do that? And then they went back, astronauts out of the water. What do we have to have in place to do that? Helicopters, all this stuff. All the way back to the moon, landing on the moon, back to when they blasted off, and then they check their process out. It's called backward planning, and it's an excellent process, but don't think you're going to finish it off in about half an hour. I had the opportunity to work with a company in the oil patch, and we went in there and they had 2 projects to work on. One was a project that they've been working on for a long time, or the same kind of project, I should say. It was a new project, but they were quite familiar with the processes. The other was the company barbecue. So we split into 2 groups, and the one group working on the project they'd worked on for quite a while, they expected it would take them a couple hours to do this. The other group didn't think it'd take them any time at all. Well, it took the folks planning the company barbecue close to a couple hours. When we finished that day, the guys who were doing the major project had hardly scratched the surface, because they realized how many steps they were skipping over when they went straight forward, start to finish kind of planning. And when I left them, they said, we're going to continue on, and we're going to do this. So backward planning is a great way. We can use it for anything. We can use it for things at home. We can use it for working with the family, at work, whatever. The point of it is, get in there and have a little fun with it, but it really does help you focus on all the steps. Now, if you're one of the impatient behavioral styles, and we'll talk about those in a little while, you're not going to want to do it because, hey, let's just get to the action. That's what students used to do. We that sounds wrong. For the betterment of their education, we required them to do a black and white film of about 2 minutes. As soon as we gave the assignment, they wanted to grab the cameras and go start shooting. And I was the bad guy and say, whoa, wait, sorry folks, you have to write a script first. Oh, we know what we want to do. Yeah, you're going to waste a whole bunch of film, a whole bunch of time, and have a really bad product. You're going to write a script first. So that was part of the planning process. So we got them doing that. So that's looking at the planning. Communication. Communication covers a whole bunch of stuff, doesn't it? It's kind of the doing part. We're communicating all the way along. But as we communicate, you have to remember when you communicate with anyone, and this is so true today, it's not about me, it's about you as the audience. I don't care if I'm standing here talking to you, if I'm not giving you something worthwhile, my communication has failed. So think about that when you're writing letters, memos, emails, when you're talking to people. What do I need to say to move this person or these people to action? Because that's what it's all about. Do a lot of business writing training. Silence is golden in communication, by the way. Absolutely golden. How you use silence is, this gentleman we're talking to me, I actually listen to him all the way through, and then when he's finished, I sort of mentally count 1001, 1002, mentally, not out loud, okay? 1001, 1002, 1003. I put that little silence in there. And then I respond. Huge impact because, first of all, he's going to recognize that I listened all the way through. Because most of us start talking 2/3 of the way through the other person's presentation. Because after all, we know what boring stuff they're going to say, and we want to solve it right now. Guess what? A lot of the pearls in our communication come at the very end. So you've got to listen all the way through. So first of all, he knows that I actually listened to him. Secondly, I've given myself the luxury of giving myself time to formulate my response, rather than mouth flapping, brain not totally engaged. Because all too often we'll walk into someone's office and we'll start talking. But we haven't really thought out what we're going to say. So the planning comes back into that. Plan your communication. Plan your communication before you walk down the hall and talk to George or Mary. You will be amazed at how much more successful you will be. So that little silence is really an important thing to put in our